Hi viewers, welcome to NCKHUB. If you like our videos, kindly do subscribe and follow us. Thank you.
Hi, hello, welcome everyone again to Azure series. In today's session, we are going to discuss about free services in Azure. In starting from the day one until today's session, we have discussed multiple services like networking, cost management, gateways, private and public connections, and database. Like this, we have discussed about domain services, multiple services we have discussed. In today's session, we are going to talk about the free services which is being provided by Microsoft Azure. Yes, many people has asked and requesting us what are the free services being provided by Azure and at how many hours they are providing and what is the usage of those services. Everyone wants to know about this. So I am glad to convey you that in today's session, we have free services from the Azure. We have list of services like computing, disk management, AI as well, and databases, and many more services. All these, if you can see clearly from the Azure, these are the free services. Depending upon your account, if you are using a paid account, you will be provided with a certain subscription. Upon that, you have to utilize those services. Few accounts doesn't have paid services like subscription. You have to avail it. Later after that one, you have to utilize the services. And once you created your account, for few accounts, Azure will do provide free services. Those are the services which we are going to have a look now. If you can see, this is the first service, Azure Virtual Machine. So Azure Virtual Machine, which provides at 750 hours each of B1, B2, these are like types of virtual machine services which are AMD based. Like we have Intel Core based. Likewise, we have a virtual machine which has AMD processor. And this works on Windows at 750 hours per year you have to utilize. If you want to utilize this in a month, you can do entirely utilize it. After that, it will be chargeable. Similarly, you will be having a Linux machine as well, which is at 750 hours. It is also same level of AMD processor like Windows. You can see B1 and B2 types, which are burstable virtual machines. This is Linux. So for these machines, if you want to store a data that will be in the form of drive space, you can do manage and create manage disks. So these are at 2 into 64 GB. That means it provides a state drive of SSD, which holds at 1 GB snapshot with 2 million input and output operations per second, which do manage with the disks. Similarly, 5 GB of storage data from the Azure Blob Storage. And this we have discussed in our previous session as well. What are the types of blob storage, queues, and more we have discussed tables, likewise other things as well. You can refer to the blob storage video if you want to have a look and know about blob storage and types of services, what is the, how to create it and how to manage it with a subscription account, what type of data we can do upload or send the data, where people in our team can access the blob storage. These details we have discussed in one of our session of Azure series, which is blob storage. So here as part of free services, if you can see 5 GB being provided for free service account. Similarly, if you want to create a database, which is example MySQL, here MySQL database, which is they are providing like inside the database, inside the virtual machine, if you want to deploy a SQL and if you want to use MySQL, then you can utilize that MySQL database for 750 hours. Similarly, media service, which is at 20 output minutes. This is very less if you can see, but this is after that one, this is highly chargeable and which is a security, which plays a crucial role. Security, which is key vault, like securing your virtual servers or private servers and private databases and file storage services. For them, you have to use a key vault. So this is the key vault which is being provided and safeguard your applications. Similarly, you have Azure files at 1000 GB, 1000 gigs of data is being provided by the Azure for storing Azure files. Similarly, you can do create PostgreSQL database at 715 hours, 750 hours of flexible usage of burstable B1 types of service of instance with 32 gigs of storage and 32 backup storage as well they are providing. You can similarly look into Cosmos database, which comes from the Azure. It provides 400 rate units per second runs, which is at good throughput. And similarly, you can see the bandwidth AI vision, which you can see AI plus machine learning. If you want to create it, you have to click on create. Example, if we click on AI plus machine learning, then you have to add your account, pay as on go service. So currently from our side, our subscription, we have disabled that one and we are going to add a new account. So if you want this one, you have to enable this one. Again, you have to create a new one and you have to create a new resource. And again, you have to launch as per the pricing tier applicable for the AI. This is altogether, this is not a free from our account as we have been utilizing this from many days. So ours is chargeable. But if you, whenever you are creating, you can see these details, network, identity, and tags, and simply you can do review it and you can do create it. So this is about AI plus machine learning. Similarly, you can do create in AI plus machine learning on a phase. There is one service which works on transactions. So that service you can do make utilize of it. Similarly, language understanding, which language like which processing from the AI, which works on IoT devices, bot applications. Those you can do understand with applications learning as well. Similarly, we have heard about service buses. So which works with the database level of layer like Oracle Service Bus and many more. Likewise, it works reliably with a service of hybrid integration with the service bus. It can do work at 750 hours. Similarly, you can do check Azure load balancers. So these is, if you can see, these are not free, all these things. So the free services which you can do see while creating, few of them you can do see with free number where mm, with the naming convention there they will do mention this is free you can do create. Likewise, if this is not free you have to pay it and you have to utilize. For example, if I can click on batch plus compute, which is a compute services, if I click on compute, it will be automatically added to your account without asking any details of service, which you can do create it directly by going into the next networking adding like this, and you can finally do create. The services which are not being displayed as a free, that you have to use as pay as on go service. Similarly, if you want to use automation, AI, virtual networking, how many networks you can do create. For example, if you want to create 50 private networks or 50 public networks, you can do create free services among the virtual networking. Similarly, if you want to transfer data, it can be data transfer from one security port to another security port within the network or outside of the network within the respective layer of inbound and outbound rules you can do allow this one. So similarly, if you want to create a machine learning where you can do use develop your Python language, multiple models you can do create and platform you can do bring it up to the service and you can do run those services. Similarly, if you want to know about Arc is one functionality which is being provided by the Azure in terms of indexing, which works at a database level layer and integration with applications you can do utilize. And also, if you can see, there is a AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service. Many people will be looking at a Kubernetes service is it chargeable? Yes, of course it is chargeable, but as part of free services, they will be providing free tier accounts to manage your containers. So where we have to choose our servers like a container based services and you can do manage and create your AKS Azure Kubernetes services. Likewise, we have in AWS also we have Elastic Kubernetes services. Here also in Azure we have Azure Kubernetes service. Similarly, you can do create, if you want to migrate from on-premise to cloud, you have to create certain direct networks or transit gateways or multiple things you have to do. And finally, you have to create a migration from on-premise to cloud or cloud to cloud. You have to create source and destination, certain mappings you have to follow. Finally, you have to pass your data by giving certain other authorizations. Finally, you have to allow certain policies. So likewise, you can do use a data migration service with, likewise, you can do use a cloud migration with Azure migration, which is Azure migrate. So this, for this one, as of now, the create button is not being available, but there will be certain services. If under your account, under the free services, if this is available as free, you can do start knowing about which are free. You can do straight away create a service and you make sure you are practicing in a proper path. Similarly, you can do look about Azure Monitor. This is completely not free. Monitoring is chargeable, which plays a crucial role. Example, virtual server, CPU, memory utilization, network rates, disk rates, or if you want to monitor your application, how it is behaving with real user metrics, browser user metrics, how it is running, the application is healthy or unhealthy. Likewise, you have to monitor everywhere. Azure monitoring plays a crucial role. It can be any type of cloud, Google, Amazon, or Microsoft. All those are chargeable. So you can see similarly, there are different a number of services which are not a free. Private link. If you want to create a link and a private link connection, private services, if you want to access, you can do build a network and you can do create. If you want to learn about more about these private link connections under the networking, where you can do create direct link, how to manage this one and how to establish a private network connection with platform as a service, and how to know about this private link connection. You can get into the document as well. Microsoft gives a proper documentation how to create a virtual network and allow different servers into the private endpoints via the private link from the on-premises. You have to build a private link connection. Then you have to create establish an endpoint. That endpoint make sure it connects to your servers. Likewise, you will know about multiple routed traffic, how this routing is working among different endpoint connections of virtual private connections. So for this one, you have to know about private link and many more. All these details you can do and know about while knowing about all the services in Azure. So few services below here we have cost management and we have PubSub, which creates certain concurrent connections in the applications. Suppose example book my show if we take, or else Gmail, or else we can take a bank application. How many concurrent or parallel connections those are being happening per unit, how many maximum connections are happening, we can live in we can do see and by knowing into the web PubSub. So likewise we have certain services which are completely not free. Example, you see AI translator, AI safety. Depending upon your requirement, you have to manage and use these services. All services are not free, and at the same time the free services which you can see with the naming convention free. From there, you can get into the create tab. From there, you can do create. So these are free services which you have to know from the Azure. So how you can do get into is from the my Azure, you click on it from your desktop or the version, the application which you can see from your front end of Azure. From there, you can do get into the free services like this. You can do a global search from here, and you can get into this one, or else you can get into the more services. From there you will be grabbing into the getting into the particular path of the URL where you will be navigating to the all services. From the services you can do navigate to the free services which you can see under your account. So likewise you can get into your home dashboard. From there you can do select it. So this is about the free services in Azure which are available in your account. So if you already having a subscription account, you all the services will be payable by you. Kindly please create a new email ID and new account under that one, which he has not used previous email ID or existing user ID or existing phone number. You have to add a new card and all these things. For 1 year of 12 months, they will be providing free services. These free services, which will help you to practice and make your hands dirty in working with Azure. So these are the preliminary conditions or primary conditions which you have to know about while using complete all free services. And what are the free services? Those are available in Azure. So that's it about today's topic. of free services. Thank you. And if you want to
So
know about many more services like this from the Azure, if you want to know, kindly please let us know. So almost we have covered all the minimum for what are the zero to hero series. Mainly a beginner should know almost all the services till now we have covered. Anything if you want to know, please post us in our comment in our channel comments. Accordingly, we will do create videos with respect to your comments and requirements. Thank you. Thank you once again.